Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. And this is my performance review of the Nike Air Zoom GT Run. So this shoe is going for $175, which is pretty damn expensive. And this is Nike's second shoe in their GT lineup, their greater than series for basketball. And if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. This colorway is available still, I believe. And the white colorway with that gradient on it, it looks way better than this colorway in my opinion, is also available, I think. So again, links are below if you guys do want to cop, but let's get it started off with the tracciones, and the traction is pretty damn nice, right? So on a clean court, you have a solid bite. There is a little bit of a squeak as well, but on dust though, it's not that nice. So on a dusty setting, it picked up dust pretty damn quickly. Okay, so the wipe was pretty easy though, right? So it wasn't like, you know, dust was getting really stuck on there. I had to really wipe and stuff. But then like this shoe picks up dust very, very quickly. So I just like, after every like play or two, I would just like lightly wipe and I was good to go, you know what I mean? But like it was kind of annoying, you know, because I'm pretty used to like, playing in shoes where I don't have to wipe, you know, like the KD14 or like the Curry 8 and stuff like that. So I mean, obviously if you're a hooper, all of us are used to wiping our shoes, you know what I mean? But the frequency that I had to wipe was kind of annoying. But if you do remember to wipe and also you wipe very frequently, then you should be fine with the performance on a dusty setting. And also it wasn't terrible when dust got picked up on the shoe, right? So here on the rubber outsole, when there was a good accumulation of dust, it wasn't like terrible where I was sliding out like crazy. It was just not as good of a bite. So obviously that's not optimal, and that's still like not a good bite, but then like it's better than like something where it's like it's dangerous and like sliding around all over the place, you know? So I guess that is a plus and a positive, but just keep in mind you're gonna have to wipe a lot on this outsole, which kind of sucks. As far as the durability goes, I don't think is going to be good. I did not play on outdoor court, so just take this with a grain of salt, but feeling the rubber grooves, it feels really soft, and also the grooves are super thin, and there's not a whole lot of grooves either. So yeah, I don't think outdoor use is going to be great. So as far as the overall performance of the outsole, I would say it's solid, you know, but just keep in mind with what I said with dust. All right, moving on to the heel to toe transition is super smooth, right? Especially with that zoom unit in the forefoot, right? Okay, so starting here in the heel, we have a very nice curved shape. We also have React, right? And this React here is not bouncy, you know. React is usually bouncy, especially like in the Epic React or even the Air Zoom BB NXT. I'm pointing over there because that's where the shoe is. But anyways, yeah, so React is usually bouncy, but in this shoe for some reason it's more soft, right? So you don't really get propelled by the React here in the heel all too much in this shoe, but I guess it's still nice because there is a good amount of compression. There is a nice curved shape as well, so it doesn't feel clunky either here in the heel, and this React midsole is pretty much fully exposed here in the heel. And then moving on here into the forefoot, we have a very, very curved shape, so that's super nice. As far as the curve goes, there is a little bit of curve, but it's not super flexible here in the forefoot because there is a zoom unit. And the zoom unit is a zoom strobe unit here in the forefoot, as well as a bottom loaded zoom unit, which is crazy, right? So the forefoot, it really propels you forward. So when you're running down the court, I mean, you got that heel, it's super smooth. And then when you kind of come here into the forefoot, it like pushes you forward. And also like on your first step, like out of the triple threat, you feel really, really explosive, very, very fast. Also when you're going like in a straight line too, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's super smooth, it's very fluid, and heel to toe transition was very nice. All right, moving on to the cushioning setup. So the cushioning setup is insane, guys. Like one of the craziest cushioning setups that you can get. So like I mentioned before, here in the forefoot, you got that zoom strobe unit only in the forefoot, and it's really thick. There's a lot of compression because the zoom unit is right underneath your foot. And you pretty much feel it all the way up until like, I guess, underneath your toes. So your forefoot is just digging into that. And honestly, like, I thought I would really like it because usually I like to have a very crazy cushioning setup sometimes, but also I like a really responsive cushioning setup, you know what I mean? So I would say I'm a little like on and off on like if I like the cushioning setup or not, you know, because it's that crazy, guys. And also another thing that I didn't really like about it is that it's a pretty flat offset. You know, maybe there is a little bit of an offset, but the zoom unit pretty much bulges up in the forefoot, right? So normally in shoes, the offset, your toe is right here and then your heel is a little bit higher, you know what I mean? But in this shoe, it actually feels the opposite because of that crazy thick zoom unit. So I mean, like if you want crazy bounce, especially in the forefoot, it's just insane. then you're gonna get it here. But one thing also that I didn't really like either is that my foot it felt a little too springy, and there's a little too much compression. Maybe the zoom in is a little too thick for my liking. So I just felt my foot kind of like digging into the zoom in a lot when I was playing. And some days, like I said, I did like it, and some days it was kind of annoying. I don't think this is like a cushioning setup for everybody. It's definitely an extreme, like a crazy extreme. We have the full length React, which is very, very soft. It's really good for impact protection. Cord feel, I would say, is okay. I mean, I think the React actually is pretty low to the ground. Also here in the heel, but then like the forefoot zoom in is like, it bulges up. So you definitely feel a little bit higher up in the forefoot, which I didn't really like either. So the cushioning setup, I'm indifferent. You know, like I said, you know, I liked it some days. It was super crazy, very bouncy here in the forefoot. And some days, you know, when I wanted more like a responsive feel, I didn't really like the cushioning setup that much. So just keep that in mind. It's a really, really crazy cushioning setup. All right, moving on to the materials. So the materials for a $175 shoe is not great. The quality of the materials, I mean, we got screen mesh. I mean, I don't really mind screen mesh all too much, but it's just, it doesn't scream quality, you know what I mean? So here in the forefoot, I actually like how thin this material is. You know, it's super thin. It conforms to your foot very well. It feels a little cheap and flimsy, but you know, on foot, you don't really notice it all too much. And also we have some like fuse overlays. It's kind of like a rubberized plastic material, of course, for extra added durability and support. It kind of like circles out here from the lateral side of the shoe here in the forefoot. And then coming here into the midfoot area, it's just a really thin material. It's paper thin. There's no padding or anything, especially here in the tongue. The tongue has no padding. It's just screen mesh. You know what I mean? So I guess also going over ventilation in the shoe is extremely good. Here in the forefoot, the material has a lot of airflow, and also through the tongue. So I mean, your foot is going to be very cool in the shoe. I don't really like the foam inserts all too much. You know, there are some foam inserts because obviously if there was none and it was just a screen mesh and you tighten the laces really tight, that's going to hurt your feet. You know what I mean? So I mean, I guess that does make sense, but it doesn't really improve the overall comfort of the tongue all too much, you know. But anyways, I guess it's good that it does feel very minimal. And then coming here into the ankle area, there's very minimal padding as well. There's just a tiny bit of padding here in the back of the heel where your Achilles is, but just a very minimal amount, as well as here on the sides of the shoe too. So like on foot, I mean, it feels really minimal, very lightweight and stuff like that. So I do like it on foot, but I wish they used like a better quality materials because of the price. All right, moving on to the fit. The fit was really nice. You know, it fits really similarly to the KD13 and even like the KD14, where it's just like a super snug fit here in the toe box, right? So I went true to size, and my toes pretty much go right to the edge. And also here in the toe box, it's extremely snug. So I like that. I can't really curl my toes in the toe box. So that's how snug the fit is here. And then also width-wise, I would say it's slightly narrow as well. So for me, I like to have a very, very snug fit in my ball shoes. And I really like the fit here in the shoe. Moving on to support and lockdown. So first of all, this insole is React, right? It's a React foam, and I mean, it's really thin, so you can't really feel all too much from the step-in comfort, but I guess it's not terrible. But then like the texture is like really nice. It has that React texture, that foam texture that really grips your sock. So when you're putting the shoe on, it's kind of annoying because it grabs your sock a lot and it kind of like crumples and crinkles underneath your foot, so that's really annoying. But if you get the shoe on correctly, the insole really grabs your sock and kind of like keeps your foot in place and feels really secure inside the shoe. So I really like that. But there is heel slippage, and the heel slippage was actually pretty bad. You know, it was annoying too. I wouldn't say it was horrible or horrendous to the point where like I hated playing in the shoe, but like it was really annoying. And like if you look at the shoe, there's nothing holding you down, you know. And if you look at the actual foam, there's no foam, first of all, to contain your heel down into the shoe. The shape of the heel and also like the ankle area, the foam just goes straight down. So it doesn't really contain your heel or anything. And even if I tightened the laces all the way, it didn't really help with the heel lockdown because obviously laces do loosen up while you play. So the heel slippage was pretty bad in the shoe. As far as the lateral containment goes, I had no issues with it. You know, here in the forefoot, like the material is pretty supportive and there's not a whole lot of stretch to it because of the fuse overlays, but also the foam does come up a good amount to cage you here in the forefoot. here in the midfoot and here in the heel as well. And there is an internal TPU heel counter, so I had no issues with my foot trying to come out of the footbed or anything. So that's a good thing, right? And also for lateral stability, I had no issues. You know, this shoe is pretty damn wide. You can see a very sharp outrigger. So lateral stability was good in this shoe as well. But the thing was, the heel slippage was kind of bad, and I noticed it a lot when I was playing. So like I said, it wasn't horrible to the point where it's like I hate playing in the shoe, but like I didn't enjoy it. You know what I mean? So that kind of sucked. All right, moving on to the weight of the shoe. If I remember correctly, it was like pretty light, maybe 11-12 ounces. Yeah, so 11.64 ounces. And then for the left pair, it's 11.64 ounces. Okay, so quality control, I mean, it's pretty much the exact same weight, which is good. Sometimes, you know, like in the Dawn issue 3, I don't know if it was just my pair, but that was the left and right pair had a difference of 0.5 ounces, which is insane. But anyways, that's good to see, you know, the same exact weight for both the left and right pairs of the shoe. And this shoe feels very, very lightweight on foot, you know what I mean? And it feels pretty responsive. You know, the traction is good, it has a solid bite. But then like the forefoot made me feel a little slow, you know, and just because I feel like the zoom unit is a little too thick, I think they should have like made it a little bit thinner. But of course, that's just in my opinion. I'm sure there's gonna be people that do enjoy it, but just keep in mind it is pretty damn crazy. A lot of compression and it's super bouncy. And also the heel slippage kind of like hindered that as well. You know, my heel not feeling completely contained into the shoe made me feel a little bit slower when I was playing as well. So not the most responsive feeling shoe, but it's a very lightweight shoe, and you definitely feel how minimal the upper is when you put this shoe on. So there's the weight there. Moving on to the aesthetics, it's okay. I don't really like this colorway all too much. I like the other colorway, the white one with the gradient. But I guess the overall silhouette and like the design is pretty dope. Tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up. Okay, so if you're a guard, don't get this shoe. It's definitely not super responsive, and I don't think the forefoot like it is very responsive, you know what I mean? The only reason I think you should get this shoe, of course, if you want like a crazy cushioning setup, and you're definitely gonna get it here. Like that forefoot zoom unit, the React, a lot of compression with that as well. So if you want a crazy cushioning setup, then you know, definitely go ahead and get it. This shoe also didn't really have any issues with support or anything like that, besides I guess like the heel slippage, but I guess that's more containment. So if you're like a bigger dude and you want good support with a lot of cushion, this is also a great option. You know, a lot of big guys are playing in the shoe as well, but I don't really see a whole lot of guards playing in it, you know? And obviously I'm a guard too, and I didn't really enjoy playing it all too much. So yeah, I definitely think with this shoe, there is gonna be like a very small percentage of people that like it. Did I enjoy it? Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it at times, you know, playing in it. It was pretty fun. It's kind of like the LeBron 18, where it's like, it's a crazy shoe to play in with a crazy amount of bounce and compression. But it's not like an everyday shoe. Like I would not want to play in the shoe every day, you know what I mean? So to be honest, for me, it's a solid shoe, but then like it's not going to be in my rotation that much. You know? So anyways, that about concludes my review of the Zoom GT Run. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.